Trigonometry Part 2. We are going to practice few questions on reduction formulae in this video. Listen and learn very carefully. Now, after discussing the reduction formulae, we are now going to apply them into the exam questions. Simplify as far as possible, or simplify to a single acute angle, or simplify into trigonometric ratio of theta. These are the questions. Tan of 180 plus theta times sine of 360 minus theta divided by tan of 360 minus. So we have three terms here. We are going to reduce it into a single ratio of theta. Okay. So what we do, we look at the quadrant first. 180 plus, it is in the third quadrant. So what we do is determine the quadrant first. Okay. 180 plus, which quadrant? Look at that. It is in the third quadrant. 360 minus theta, which quadrant? Fourth quadrant. It is not up to 360. 360 minus something. Again 360 minus. So in this question, we have three terms and we decide the quadrant. That is our method. Try to learn it. Even if you have never learned, learn it now. Now look at the next idea. Then the sign. You must know the sign. You must already know the cast rule. So we can easily write 180 plus theta in the third quadrant. Tan is positive. 360 minus theta in the fourth quadrant. Sine is negative. You practice writing in a bracket. Safer. Again, in the fourth quadrant, the tan is negative. Cancel similar trigonometric functions now. If you have anything to cancel, here tan and tan will go. Negative divided by negative will give us positive sine theta. Hope you are very sure now. Moving on to another question. These are all from grade 11 syllabus. Remember that. Simplify as far as possible. 1 minus tan square 360 minus theta. Okay, so we must know what is the difference. Tan square theta and tan theta, the whole square is the same thing. So here we have tan square of 360 minus theta. Okay, so we have the, what do? We simplify tan of 360 minus theta. Okay, first you do that, and then we get 360 minus theta. Which quadrant? Fourth quadrant. Tan is negative. But because of the square, we have a square here. Okay. So because of the square, this minus sign will become positive. Minus square is positive. So we get, this is positive. Positive, again another minus outside. We get 1 minus tan square. Okay. So that is what we can do in this question. Simplify as far as possible. That's all. Simplify to a single trigonometric ratio. We have three ratios here. We have to simplify into a single trigonometric ratio. That is the question. Sine of 360 plus theta. What is that angle? Sine of 360 plus theta. Where is it? 360 degree. We know that. Okay. Here is the angle coming from, starting from x-axis, from 0 up to this is 360. Moving further, 360 plus, okay, it's going to be the first into the first quadrant again. So when you have 360 plus, remember that. So we are going to simplify it. Sine of 360 plus theta, first quadrant, sine theta. 180 plus in the third quadrant, cos is negative. Tan of 360 plus again, okay, which is again in the first quadrant, we get tan theta. Now we have a tan theta, we are going to use the identity tan is sin theta over cos theta. Then we can cancel. If we find this one, if we can cancel cos and cos. Okay, so we have sin times sin, which is going to be sin square theta in a single trigonometric ratio. A small question. Another beautiful important question. Simplify to a single trigonometric ratio. Cos of theta minus 360. It is not 360 minus theta. Theta minus 360. What we do now? We have to change it into 360 minus theta. So what we do? We make use of a minus sign outside the bracket. So it becomes cos minus of, when you keep minus outside, it becomes 360 minus theta inside the bracket. And we know that cos of negative angle is positive cos angle. So we get cos of 360 minus theta, which is again in the fourth quadrant where it is positive. Cos is positive, so we reduce to cos theta. We apply reduction formulae there. So we continue like that. Then look at the answer. Cos theta times, what about sin 90 plus? 90 plus something, moving to second quadrant. So where second quadrant sign is positive, very good. But don't forget 90 there. When we have 90, sign becomes cos. So we get cos theta. That is the one mark. Again, sign of negative theta. Okay, already by now we know what is meant by negative theta in the fourth quadrant. Okay, so we get minus of sin theta. Use a bracket. Now you can simplify. Okay, minus sin theta and minus sin theta cancel. We get equal to, what is our answer? Cos square theta. Okay, simple. Simplify to a single trigonometric ratio. We have a lot of terms in the numerator and in the denominator. Look at the question. Cos beta plus 360. No problem. We have already seen such questions coming. 360 plus something will be moving to the first quadrant. Look at the second term. Beta minus 360. So what we learned? We must keep a minus sign. Think about a minus sign. So it will become, if you keep a minus sign outside, it is going to be minus tan 360 minus beta. Okay, we have seen that. Now, what is 360 minus beta? Fourth quadrant. It's again becoming another minus tan beta. Minus times the first minus give you tan beta. We can manage that. The last one is cos beta plus 90. Where is it? Which quadrant? 90 plus, moving to the second quadrant, where cos will be negative. Remember, don't forget, don't be confused. Cos in the second quadrant is negative. At the same time, because of this 90, when you see 90, cos becomes sin. Okay, that is what we want to know. Here again, the minus idea here, beta minus 90. Okay, we will keep a minus sign. Then we get cos minus theta is cos theta. So it is the same thing, but 90 makes it cos becomes sin. So we write all the terms. This is 5 marks. So the first term beta plus 360 or 360 plus beta is cos beta. Tan, okay, we have done it in the margin. Again, cos beta plus, okay, in the second quadrant, that will be negative, but there is 90 there, so it becomes, cos becomes sine. Look at this one, sine square. So you take it as sine first, sine 180 plus. Which quadrant is that? 180 plus, third quadrant, where it is minus sign. Then you square it, okay? Do it there. We have already discussed that. And here again, beta minus 90. Okay, look at this. Becomes 90 minus beta, and we get sine beta there. So all these are good questions, good people. Now we can simplify again. Tan beta, we will write it as sine beta over cos beta. And then we can cancel if there is something. We can cancel this cos and cos. Okay, we multiply sine and sine will be sine square. So this sine square is gone. We have a so sine and sine gone. Minus sine in the numerator, and the denominators we have a sine beta. So our answer is minus sine beta. Okay, so that is how we have to do these type of questions. It is 5, 6, 7 marks question. Reduce the following to one trigonometric ratio. Okay, very popular questions. Tan square theta minus 1 over cos square theta. So tan square, we already know it. We can write it as sine square theta over cos square theta. Now when we look at the denominator, what is the denominator now? Cos square, cos square. So we can take it as a common denominator. Then we get numerator is sine square theta minus 1. But what we do now? Sine square theta minus 1. There is no identity we have. But we know one identity. What is that? Our famous identity. Okay. Sine square theta plus cos square theta equal to 1. Now tell me, if I take sine square to the other side, then I get cos square theta equal to 1 minus sine square theta. But unfortunately, it is not 1 minus sine square here. So what we do? We keep a minus sign outside like this. And then we write 1. Okay, it is sine square theta minus 1. But now look at this one. We can rewrite it keeping a minus sign outside. Okay, so that is our technique. Now if you have 1 minus sine square, it is cos square. Okay, let us write and finish it. So we take the minus sign outside and we get 1 minus sine square is cos square. We cancel cos square and cos square. Our final answer is minus 1. Another good question. Use reduction formulae to show that sine of 180 plus theta tan 720 plus theta cos minus theta the whole over cos 90 plus theta can be simplified to sine theta. So until we get sine theta, we must continue our steps. So we start using, look at the second term, tan of 720. So you can simply subtract 360, then we get 360 plus theta. You can again subtract 360. If it is more than 360, you can subtract. So ultimately, you can subtract 720, or just explain 2 times 360 is 720. So if you subtract, we are going to have tan theta there. And then the first term is sine 180 plus theta, making minus of sine theta. Cos minus theta in the numerator is cos theta. Denominator, look at the denominator. Cos 90 plus theta, second quadrant. where cos is negative, and because of the 90 we get minus sine theta. Then we can again simplify, substitute. We can cancel minus sine theta and sine theta. Then tan theta can be written as sine theta over cos theta, where the denominator cos theta will be cancelled with cos theta. Finally, we get the beautiful answer sine theta. Okay. So that is the end of part 2 trigonometry. Hope you are all learning the topic very well. Okay. Practice. Watch the videos again and again. Share it to your friends. Okay. Good luck.